D-Lo for boxing. All right, so I want to double back and talk about this Fury Wilder fight once again. The video I just uploaded about an hour ago, I actually had tried to upload immediately after the fight and had difficulty uploading because I was using a different device. But now that I've had it uploaded and I had since that time, I've read more stuff about the fight and looked at more highlights of the fight. I haven't went back and watched the whole fight, of course. But, I've got a little more insight into the fight, more things I want to talk about, things that have been said. First of all, I want to state that for a fight that people claim nobody wanted to see, for a fight that people claim wasn't worthy of being made, a whole lot of people sure came out to support Fury Wilder 3. I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably clicked that buy button. But I do know that there are a lot of people talking about Wilder Fury 3. If that tells me anything, and what that should teach any boxing fans is that, we got to get out of fight blocking business. I say that all the time. I don't go out of my way to block fights. And I feel like a lot of times we feel like there's a preconception of how something should go or how something went, so that's what it's going to be, and we say things that are basically killing the fights. I'm not of that belief that we should be trying to stop fights from happening. We should be trying to embrace the fights that we get and push for the other fights that we want. This fight was epic. We got a very good fight between two very good heavyweights, arguably the top two heavyweights. Of course, Wilder, having taken another loss, is not going to be considered the number 2 heavyweight anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be considered, he probably may still be in the top 5 for a lot of people. He's in my top 5, but ultimately, he's going to be on the comeback trail. Having had 2 losses in a row. But aside from that, I want to speak on what Wilder brought to the fight. I mean, we talking about a guy who was coming immediately off of having had a fight that did nothing go his way in, lost, had to retool, get another trainer, had to come back, had to go to arbitration, fight in court to be able to get the bout. And when he got the bout, he showed up and he came in there and he tried his absolute best to win the fight. I have to take my hat off to the man for that. Wilder showed that he is a true warrior. He went in there and he did what he wanted to do, and that was to go in there and give it his absolute best and go out on his shield if it came to that. And that's what happened. He went out on his shield. He went out his way. There were a lot of things in that fight that I felt like could have gone differently. Could have, it could have went better for Wilder. But at the end of the day, the fight played out the way it played out. I'm not going to get into the if, maybe, probably game. I'm not going to get into the blame game and this, that, and the other. I'm just going to say the best man won the fight. We were in for a good contest. And we were treated to a delightful fight. I personally think that, this fight ranks up there in terms of heavyweight fight. It definitely ranks up there in terms of heavyweight trilogies in boxing. I think that this was probably a better fight than a lot of people anticipated it being. Even the guys who picked a winner one way or the other, they didn't expect the fight to play out in the manner in which it did. So for me, I must admit that the same for myself. This was a better fight than what I thought the fight would be. I picked Deontay Wilder to go in there and get an early stoppage. That was not to be. Wilder had to go in there and earn everything he got, and the fight definitely did not play out that way. He went, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to rehash the fight. I was about to, but I'm not going to do that. I just want to give it up to Deontay Wilder for going out there, doing a phenomenal job of making changes to make this a different fight than what the second fight was. Ultimately, he came up short, but he has my respect. You know what I'm saying? Has my admiration as a fan. very pleased to have had the opportunity to see this fight between him and Tyson Fury. I felt like the fight was definitely worth the time that I gave to watch it. It was worth the money I spent to watch it. It was worth the investment I made on my channel into the fight. And just ultimately all the way around, I'm thrilled that I got the opportunity to see this fight. So with that being said, once again, in defeat, Deontay Wilder did great work in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's a winner in many ways. But having come up short against another great fighter, there's no shame in that. Deontay Wilder went out there, he fought gallantly. He went out there, he had a game plan. He went out there, he fought to the game plan, and he had to make adjustments when things weren't going his way. Well, ultimately, the way it ended up, Tyson Fury was the better man on fight night, and with him being the better man on fight night, he deserved to have his hand raised, and he made sure of it by getting the stoppage. So, as for Deontay Wilder, like I said in my other video, it remains to be seen what's going to be next for him. But if the next thing for him is a fight against another contender or whoever is against, then I'm all for it, and I'll be glad to watch the fight, be glad to support, glad to see what Deontay Wilder looks like in his next outing. Because he definitely wouldn't be fighting Tyson Fury again. So the things that Tyson Fury was able to do well against Deontay Wilder, maybe somebody else won't. And there's a possibility that some of the things Deontay Wilder has success with against Fury, he won't have success with against other guys. But I definitely want to see Deontay Wilder fight on. I definitely want to see how he bounces back from this loss. And I want to see him, having had a full fight with Malik Scott. How do he come back from that? You know what I'm saying? How does he come back from knowing that he went with Malik Scott and they came up short, but in coming up short, they had, you know what I'm saying, they had a good fight. They came up short, but it was the first fight. Let's see, can they improve upon that fight in the next fight? That's what I want to see for them. But ultimately, if that's not what they do, that's just not what they do. But I don't think there's any shame in taking a loss to Tyson Fury. Of course, there was a lot of things involved that, outside of the fight itself. But as far as the fight, there's no shame in taking a loss to Tyson Fury. That's all I got on it. D-Lo 404 Boxing. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.